All right, Austin. Hopefully the people can hear us. Hopefully we're doing this right. We're here top 9. Figured you've waited long enough. We can go on a little tiny bit earlier. I know some people were calling for a banana
Right.
phone earlier, and we'll try that throughout the year. But tonight had to help out with a little bit of our social media team with the draft coverage. So, Austin, my friend, how we doing?
Oh man, little late night Reds. I didn't know we'd be going this late, but weird game, but I'm glad to be on here with you.
Scotty Magic 86, man. I tell you what, I appreciate you. Audio good, Nick. You know what? I have no idea if it's good or not, so I appreciate you telling me. That's great. Let me know if mine and Austin levels are off. I'm not good at the whole leveling thing, so just let me know and we'll try to fix it. All right, here we go. We got to get synced up in the bottom of the ninth, but Austin, we got a chance.
Got a chance. Thought I was looking good there. It was a quick turn of events, but
Well,
Rally Reds maybe
you
one
would have
last
taken
time
this. They were
here.
down what
Well,
five
not
one.
last time, I guess.
We were down what 5-1 at one point in this game, so I think you'd take being down 8-7, bottom of the ninth.
Right.
Where are we
It
at
was
here in the
looking rough
bat?
there for the first few innings.
Yeah, I thought, man, we're gonna be doing like a 5-1 show.
Right.
At least even if they don't come back, we at least got some. I think some interesting things to discuss tonight. All right, where are we at in the batting order? Did McClay make the last out?
Couple options for the deep drive, but Ellie's up, I believe.
Yeah, Ellie Sal, Spencer Steer due up.
It's the guys you want.
Yeah, ball seems like it's traveling well today. So
If you get a shot with Nathaniel Lowe after that.
yeah, Lowe's certainly swinging the bat well. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. Talk obviously about the breakout game here from Matt McClain, possibly Eugenio Suarez to the IL. We got JJ Bleday hug watch and hug watch. I guess they still hug when you go to
Pulled early, yeah.
the big league. So yeah, we kind of had it all tonight.
Yeah, I was worried the box score recap would be a couple sentences, but they
Yeah,
changed it up on us.
it went from a couple sentences to you having to put it into ChatGPT and say, "Can you shorten this a little bit?"
Right, right. Please edit this and make it concise.
Yeah. All right.
Nah, man, it was a fun game to watch, though, at least. Hopefully
Canley
come out on the right
Jensen.
side.
Canley Jensen still getting it done in Detroit. A
Yeah.
1.35
47 years old. No.
1.35 earn run average. 38 years old. Some are saying he's due for a bad night.
Yeah, man, this team at least they always give you hope, so we'll see, man.
Canley Jensen, man, looking at his baseball reference page. This guy's had a hell of a career, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
obviously remember with the Dodgers for the most part, but it seems like he's had a second, third, fifth, 17th life.
yeah, and he's one of those guys, like a lot of these relievers, like even the really good ones, like even like Chapman had a couple years where like he was off.
Oh
Like
yeah.
this dude
And
was
now he's
like
back.
been consistent every single year. Yeah. All right, here we go. No ABS challenges left. That'll be interesting to see if that comes to play
Yeah, that
this
was a
inning.
rough one by Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good to see the Reds come out hot after that rain delay pause, but Tigers kind of did the same, I guess, after their first half inning back. But
Got under it.
almost wonder too if like would it have been better if they made it up tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't. I mean, they took the lead. Like it's hard to. eh,
Yeah, yeah, you definitely got some spark out of them too, right? It's not like they came out flat, I guess.
Yeah. And the Tigers would have probably been a little fresher with their bullpen, extra. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike Santion too, that was kind of his first rough outing. Shoot, he had like a 0 ERA, I think, going into it, right? I mean, it was
Yeah, he had not. he was really shaky earlier in the year, but he kept getting through. But those last like 4 or 5 outings, he's just been dominant. And
Right. Yeah, not the guy I would have pegged to get shelled a little bit.
it's one of the games that could sting not bringing in Sam Mole in that spot.
True. Yeah, lefty.
And like I get it, like like they've used so many pitchers today, but it's yeah, Kerry Carpenter probably is not taking Sam Mole deep.
Right.
There's a reason he didn't start this game today.
Yeah. Iron Man, get a little Salbert. Nope. Struck out. Might be a heady, sorry.
Yeah, you heard us a little bit. Let me do the old. See if we can. Oh wow, you're like oh.
I could pause it real quick.
No, let me go
Sorry
fast
for the
forward
spoiler
first.
spoiler alerts.
No, because mine like for whatever reason like gets behind on the Roku here. Well, then now we're like in slow mo. Like I angered the MLB TV gods.
Yeah, it's always frustrating too. You'll fast forward it just in time to see him lose.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, it's not happening tonight though.
All right, I'm at first pitch here to steer. 8, 7, 6, 5. Fouled off. Still way behind.
I'm a pitch. I just saw the second pitch.
Okay.
But
if steer gets on base, we'll sync it up.
by my vanilla reaction, nothing crazy happened.
It's all right. Like
So
the
Nick,
stream.
I don't know about you. Are you a late night owl? Are you guys loading up on coffee at this time of night? I had to do a little caffeine in me for this one, but
Oh, me? No, this is my. I mean, I practically work almost like third shift here for Chatterbox. So, yeah, this is nothing for me.
finally get the kids to bed.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, that was probably hours ago at this point, but
Wow. That's tough.
well, ABS.
Tigers challenged and won. Oh, that is a brutal challenge to go against you. Great challenge from Dingler, man. You got to give him credit.
Yeah, the Reds had the streak forever. They were just killing it on ABS.
Well, the Reds are not challenging hardly at all from behind the plate.
Yeah, it's always batter, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the total number low, get the average up, I guess. But yeah. All right.
Come on, Spence. All right, that'll play. All right, we got to sync it up now. When you see a pitch clock, try to pause it. That's the best way to do this.
All right, fair.
And if you don't see a pitch clock, just pause it like right when the pitch is thrown. Mound visit. Can you pause it when the catcher leaves? Oh, no, they didn't show it. Never mind.
All right, man. What a position for Lowe, the late scratch to Suarez. Yeah, I'm sure we'll touch on it. Hopefully nothing long term, but some pending moves, maybe saying otherwise.
All right, if you get a pitch clock, you have to pause it, okay?
Gotcha.
Okay, because I'm behind you. Did you not get one? Or am I ahead of you somehow
Um, I oh, I don't know. I don't know if you are.
now? Okay. We'll just have to write it out as is, I guess. That's all right.
You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
No way. No way.
There we go. There we go. I saw it a little bit before you, but I didn't want to spoil it for you, man. That's it. I mean, I gotta update the box score recap a little bit more, but hey, the Rally Reds. The Rally Reds.
Holy
Who would have
crap.
thought, man?
Look at you, Austin. That was a professional move by Austin Layton here on Chatterbox Reds. Doesn't even spoil it for me. Wow.
I didn't want to. Yeah, that's something you got to see, man. So,
Well, let's do a show, Austin.
hey, that makes it fun.
Holy crap. What a win. Let's go.
Let's.
Bench to bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. Back goes Clemente. And the save. She's done. Get out of here, baseball. It's gone. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in force rate. It was a sweep. In the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Here comes Walker. The Reds win the pennant. Larkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Hatterberg's a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club. Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb. Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again. The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Red win! Reds win! Line to right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it?
Well, how about that? Your Cincinnati Reds somehow, someway rallied to beat the Detroit Tigers 9-8 in a wild game. Nate Lowe and Matt McLain had 0 home runs entering today. They have a combined 4 home runs now. Austin Layton, what a night to come on the Chatterbox Reds program.
What a night, man. We were talking about it before, the break there of like, man, this almost looked like a bad time for me to come on early in the game. But holy, I mean, the range of emotions in this game, it was so weird from a variety of aspects. I mean, seemingly the worst part of the game in the beginning when the Reds were struggling and Ab was giving up runs. It was at least entertaining because they had Phillips come in the booth, they had Lou Piniella come in the booth, and it's like you almost didn't realize that they were getting beat as bad as they were. But holy crap! And then the rain delay. I mean, I tried to contain my emotions when we were doing it, live before because I didn't know what you were seeing. I didn't want to spoil it for you, but this team, man, this team, they're fighting. They're winning games that you didn't think that they would win. They're winning the close ones. They're winning these shootouts now, man. Feeling good.
Yeah, the Reds now 17-9 on the season with a -1 run differential. This team just somehow keeps finding a way to pull out some of the most improbable wins that we've seen. Let's just jump right into it. Austin, are you ready to roll here with the box score recap?
I am. I will try to make this as concise as possible, but a lot happened. But yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so box score recap. We had at the beginning of this game, which seems like it started 4 days ago, Andrew Abbott versus Framber Valdez for Detroit, game 1 of the series, obviously after the off day. The Reds really didn't get much started, but the Tigers did early. Top of the second, Riley Green had a home run off of Andrew Abbott, solo shot that made it 1-0. And then they did some damage again in the top of the third. Reds fan favorite Javier Baez hit a solo shot, made it 2-0. Matt Vierling doubled in 2 runs in that same inning to take the Tigers up to 4-0. So at this point, Reds fans are just like, maybe find something else to do, turn on the draft. But no, you stay watching. The top of the fourth, Jahmai Jones singled in a run for Detroit. They went up 5-0. So if you were still on the fence watching at this point, you're probably losing hope. But if you stayed here and you're watching with us, that's good. Because in the bottom of the fifth, the Reds finally got to Valdez. He's had a pretty good year, but he was cruising in this game early. Matt McLain, you mentioned it, his first home run. Dave Myers was on base at the time, so it's a 2-run shot, got the Reds to 5-2. Ellie followed with the single, and Valdez ended up exiting the game at that point. And then the Reds really they got out of a jam in the 6th. So Kyle Nicholas had the bases loaded and no outs. Pierce Johnson ends up coming in, was able to get a grounder to Ellie. He went home, got the force out at home. They tried to get the play at first. They originally got called for a double play, turning it, but then Detroit ended up challenging it, and the guy ended up safe at first. So you had 1 out, but it was, the first good luck charm of the night, and I think maybe a foreshadowing of just good luck to come. There ended up getting a double play after that, a liner to Ellie, and then they got the guy doubled up at second to get out of it. So that was a huge kind of turning point, I think, in the game. It could have really busted open there. Luckily, the Reds got out of it, though. Bottom of the 6th, Nathaniel Lowe, who was a late insert into the lineup. Eugenio Suarez was pulled right before the start with what was basically described as mid-back pain. Nathaniel Lowe hits a home run to the moon deck, halfway up the moon deck in right field. Solo shot, though, and brought the Reds within 5-3 in the score. And the game went under rain delay shortly after that, top of the 7th, despite, I guess, an entire section of Reds fans taking their shirts off and waving their shirts above their heads and drinking beers. Still went to the rain delay, couldn't fight off Mother Nature. It was an hour and 50-minute rain delay, too. So it was a long one. They're playing, Jim Day interviews with Lou Piniella from 6 years ago or something just to pass the time. They end up throwing it to shoot the big inning on MLB Network. It was looking like they might not get this one in, but luckily they did. And the Reds did some damage in the bottom of the 7th. Dane Myers walked, and Matt McLean hit his second home run of the day to tie the game at 5-5. Ellie De La Cruz ended up singling and getting to second on a Sal Stewart ground out. And then Reds fan favorite, Javier Baez, like I mentioned, he had a throwing error on a routine grounder that really, it was basically a footwork error if you saw it live, but threw it, ended up having Nathaniel Lowe was able to reach and score Ellie from second, and the Reds took a 6-5 lead. And you're thinking, okay, we got this one, right? The Reds are back. Tyler Stevenson ended up following that with a double, and then the Reds went up 7-5. You're like, all right, man, we're cruising. But then in the top of the eighth, Tony Santillan, who's really been solid this year, gave up a solo home run to Spencer Torkelson to make the game 7-6. But then later in the inning, gave up a 2-run home run to Kerry Carpenter, and it was kind of a rough inning for Santillan. He was getting hit not only the home runs but singles as well. And the Reds were down 8-7 at this point. And then, we were on live for this, but Nathaniel Lowe came up huge in the bottom of the ninth. Steer had reached base, and Lowe hit his second home run of the game, a walk-off. Once again, this guy wasn't even going to be in the lineup until tonight. Walked it off with a 2-run home run. So that's the best I can try to expedite through all that happened in that game. Overall, kind of a rough day for Andrew Abbott. Ended up with 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. ERA just north of 6 now, 6.59. So it was a crazy back and forth game, but that's the box score recap as I got it, Nick. I don't think I missed anything there, but that's all I got.
Fantastic work, Austin. Appreciate it. All right, our deep drive of the day will be Nathaniel Lowe's first home run of the day. His first home run of the season went 438 feet, 112.7 off the bat. And our deep drive of the day is presented by QC Kinetix. If knee pain or shoulder pain is slowing you down, whether it's on the golf course, the pickleball court, or even in the gym, it might be time to talk with the care team at QC Kinetix Cincinnati about regenerative medicine options. QC Kinetix takes a different approach, focusing on treatments designed to help your body heal and recover. They're conveniently located in Liberty Township, right across from Lakota East High School. See what the team at QC Kinetix is all about. Visit QCKinetics.com or call 513-655-3356. All right, well, where do we begin, Austin? We'll get to some super chats here in just a minute. Appreciate everyone watching. If you could like the stream, we'd appreciate that. Let's jump right into Nate Lowe, because as you mentioned, I mean, he was not supposed to be in the lineup, and the Reds are facing a lefty, so he's certainly, this guy doesn't even, it was the last guy on the bench was kind of his role coming into this season. And we'll talk about it later on, but it seems like there's a decent probability that Eugenio Suarez could be headed to the DH based on some. Do we have confirmation on that?
Yeah. Charlie Goldsmith just put it out. Francona says Suarez going to the IL with a low-grade oblique. So not great, but yeah, it kind of makes sense with, I guess, what we saw with JJ Belette getting pulled from the game tonight. But didn't mean to cut you off. A little breaking news there.
No, appreciate it. Yeah. But this is why you put Nate Lowe on the roster, and credit to the Reds, because I think that it wasn't necessarily Terry Francona's first choice in terms of the way he would want a roster. I think he'd want more backup infielders and traditional, but a guy like Nate Lowe just fell in the Reds' lap. A guy that really had a really good career, just had a really terrible time in Washington last year, a miserable baseball team. It has a really good career. But they picked him up, and they picked him up to give the Reds some insurance. And tonight is exactly what you were dreaming about with Nate Lowe and why he mattered to this roster. I don't want to go too far overboard. I do think Nate Lowe can probably cover at least a decent amount of the production from Eugenio Suarez against right-handed pitching. I think if you kind of look at their career numbers, Nate Lowe actually has better career numbers against right-handed pitching. Certainly the left-handed pitching, that's probably where the Reds are going to miss Gino the most. But, I mean, Nate Lowe just what an incredible night, and what an incredible pickup for the Reds. Just shout out to them for finding this guy, and I don't know what the hell the 29 other Major League Baseball teams were thinking, putting this guy on a. I mean, how many baseball teams could have given this guy actual playing time? I have no idea why he made it to the Reds, but I sure am glad he is, Austin.
Yeah, 100%. And it was weird too. I think coming into the game, he had actually hit Valdez pretty well, they said too. So it was obviously good for that portion of the game. But as he shows it, it's not just Valdez that he hits good against. Came up obviously big with the walk-off. And you're 100% right. It was one of those moves that when the Reds made it, you kind of think like, holy crap, we're actually getting like a pretty good guy for almost like a depth piece as what it was basically looked at as to me at least. But I think he's got a chance to really give this team some pop. That's kind of the Geno role as well. So you really hope that he kind of continues. Obviously, he's not going to hit 2 home runs every night. He could, but not going to put that on him to do that. But I mean, if he can at least, if they can get a few guys, honestly, Matt McClain, I think will be hopefully a heating up here too, just based on today. But if they can kind of keep that going and really get kind of a multitude of guys to hit better than that they've started, then not that we won't miss Geno, but you hopefully can at least cover some of that production.
And this is just, this is this ballpark too, you had 4 home runs in this ballpark. It can kind of cover up a lot of maybe sloppy play throughout the game. But let's shift to Matt McClain, a guy that really needed a night like tonight. I don't think McClain had been as bad as his numbers. I think there was some underlying things that said he was better, but it wasn't anywhere close to kind of the Matt McClain we were hoping maybe they were getting from spring training. And just a huge night. I mean, these are 2 legit home runs that he hit tonight. And especially if he's going to hit at the top of the order, I don't think I'm sold on that at this point. But if he's going to hit there, he's got to produce better. And this is a huge night for Matt McClain, and hopefully kind of something that can kind of be a catalyst for him. Just because, the Reds just need other guys to step up. It looks like Sal is maybe coming a little bit down to earth, and the Reds are going to need
only
it
natural, right?
I mean, the guy literally put this team on his back for the first 3 weeks of the season. It was the only reason, really, I think the Reds didn't get completely buried this season.
Yeah, and I think looking at the top of the lineup, Dane Myers is another guy I think that's really come on these past few weeks. And ironically enough, I heard you mention it on the 700 pregame the other day, voice of the fan. I'm driving for work and I hear Nick Kirby coming through my car radio. But no, I think, I mean, look at tonight. I mean, he was only 1 for 3, but he walked twice. So if you got your leadoff guy getting on that, at that clip and really setting the stage for any of these guys, McClain obviously following up at, second in the lineup. But I think, these guys are, you don't want to make a strategy based on hope, but a lot of these guys you think could perform better than what they have these first couple weeks. And McClain had a swing right tonight, man. So he was killing it like you mentioned in spring training too. And a lot of people say spring training numbers, you can't really do anything with that, but it's a lot better to see a guy just killing it down there and hopefully continuing that into the season. But he waited about a month in to pick it back up from where he started. But hey, I will take it tonight.
Ellie De La Cruz also had 3 hard hit balls today. I think he's looking really good of late as well. Definitely also you got to shout out Spencer Steer for that single in the 9th inning. When he fell behind 0-2, he had one, maybe I think probably the most brutal ABS call go against him that we've seen to date. An incredible challenge by the Tigers catcher, good old Dylan Dingler. Back there. I mean, this could not have caught any less of the plate that it did. Put him behind 0-2, but he battled back and singled and gave Nate Lowe a chance to come through with a big home run. And man, just like Nate Lowe, like Kenley Jansen, we were watching the 9th inning. We're raving about, man, this guy just ERA in the low 1s. I mean, he's just been an unbelievable pitcher. I don't think he gives up all that many home runs either. So. That was a big swing. But, yeah, shout out to Spencer Steer. That was a huge job just to kind of fight in that at-bat and just really keep the game alive.
Yeah, 100%. And I just looking at this team in general, man, 17-9. Like they're winning impressive games. And, I guess every win's, impressive. But it's just like the way they're going about it. They're winning the close, low-scoring games, these big games too with, multiple runs back and forth. I said it earlier, man, but it's worth saying. Like, this is just different. Like, we didn't see this last year. There's so many games that you kind of felt like they left on the table and, maybe just, choked away opportunities to get early wins and even throughout the year. But this This is different, man. I hope they can keep it up. It's one of those things where it's such a long season. You don't know how the kind of the momentum will carry them, but you got to be happy with where they're at now, man. I don't know. There was many points in this game where I kind of thought that the Reds of old or whatever would fold, and here we are with the walk-off win. So I'll take it every time. You avoid Scooble in this series. I don't want to get too far ahead, but you kind of like your chances, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you went on a night. Honestly, the Reds had a pretty good night against Framber Valdez, who's another really good starting pitcher. Was able to draw 5 walks up on him. He didn't even make it through the 5th inning. Obviously, Andrew Abbott, who we'll talk about here in a minute, was kind of the big story earlier in the game. But I thought the Reds offense had a pretty good night against Valdez. All right, well, let's jump into some super chats because we've got a whole host of them here, Austin. We'll start off with Tijon. Lowe, Nick Kirby, you are my goat. Thank you, Tijon. Chase Wellman, unsweepable. $5 super chat. Yeah, this team, they just don't get swept. They'll make it another series. Hopefully they can at least make it 2 more, because what is the Nationals? Is the Nationals or Rockies next week? It's one of those bad teams, so let's keep it rolling. Michael Rolfe, $20 super chat, and this one belongs to the Reds. I love you, Matt McLean and Nathaniel Lowe, both with dingers, both with 2 dingers. Michael Rolfe. The Big Red
Double
Machine.
dinger.
Big Red Machine, a $20 super chat. All I can say is, can you dig it? Samuel George, $5 super chat. I love this team, and this one belongs to the Reds. M. Dean JD, nice breakout, Matt McLean, a.k.a. McLean. Oh, he spells like McLean every possible way that you can spell McLean. I see what you did there. That's a good super chat. Check Mark Datter, $5 super chat. No quit in this team. Hopefully this is the McLean breakout. This team is a blast to watch when he's hitting, and we really need his bat. And another one from MD Gene, big 2-strike hit in the 9th by Spencer Steer. So, yeah, big stuff all around from this one. Thank you for all of the super chats. We want to remind you that you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health. Whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between, it's a 100% secure and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org. It's okay not to be okay. All right, let's jump into the back half here. Let's talk about Andrew Abbott, because this would have probably been our whole show conversation if maybe not for Matt McLean, Nathaniel Lowe, and our good friend Javi Baez. Shout out to Javi Baez. I don't want to forget about Cubs legend, Chicago Cubs legend, Javi Baez, and his role in this beautiful win tonight. But let's talk about Abbott. Boy, he's struggling, Austin. There's really just no way around it. 6.59 ERA. It just hasn't felt right with Abbott since February, except for opening day. Like, it's such a weird season because he looks so bad in spring trading, and then he has a dominant start in opening day, and it's like, yeah, you idiots, told you Andrew Abbott's back. Like come on, spring trading doesn't matter. And then it just hasn't been the same since. So, I mean, obviously, like, the Reds have no, like there's nothing you could do about it. Like, you got to let Andrew Abbott kind of figure it out, but he's got to figure it out.
No, 100%. And yeah, if you take out opening day, I mean, he's pretty much given up at minimum 2 earned runs in all of his other starts, and usually it's way north of that, or not way north, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, especially with the pitching issues that these guys have had health wise, Green, Lodolo being out, you kind of looked at Abbott as kind of righting the ship, hopefully, and it just hasn't been. And yeah, to your point, I mean, this is such an impressive win because of kind of the poor start that Andrew Abbott had and put him in a hole early. But yeah, it's a guy that you hope figures it out. He obviously had the All-Star year last year. I think he had such a good first half that it kind of catapulted those numbers, and him obviously making the team and everything that came along with that. But it's tough. It seems like he's just not making guys miss. It's a lot of hits. A lot of power hits, guys getting good contact. So I don't know, man. I think I whenever something like this happens with guys, I kind of look to them to revert to their means, so to speak. And he's obviously had seasons where he's usually within like the 3 range for an ERA. So I think he can still be a serviceable pitcher, but it's not going right for him now. Luckily tonight it didn't burn you bad enough to get a loss, but I think we're gonna looking for some more consistency, at least consistently not giving up runs instead of consistently giving up runs for him moving forward. But yeah, I don't know your thoughts overall and kind of the seasons he's had.
It's kind of wild because, the whole narrative around this team is, man, the Reds are really lucky to have the record that they have despite the offense. I mean, we need to also start adding the Reds are pretty lucky to have the record that they have despite the starting pitching. The Reds starting pitching has a 4.56 ERA. That's good for 23rd in Major League Baseball, and that is literally carried by Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns, a guy with 15 big league starts combined between the two of them coming into this season. So the starting pitching's been dicey. That's why, again, I'm not trying to get my hopes up on Nick Lodolo, but man, really need things to go well in Dayton on Sunday for Nick Lodolo because they just need him. Maybe not necessarily just to replace Abbott or just to replace Williamson, but just to have another guy that can be a dominant starter because really it's been Burns and Lauder and Singer's been okay, and that's really been about it to this point. And it's just it is wild. I mean, Austin, if I would have told you that the Reds starting pitching would be as bad as they've been, the offense would have been as bad as they would, and the Reds were 17-9. I mean,
doesn't make any
I
sense.
still don't know how it's happened.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's the weird, they're almost matching the situation of the game of when they've been able to win. So if it's a close game, they didn't need a lot of runs, but they find a way to squeak by. But then like this game, they score a ton of runs and end up winning the game. But yeah, to your point, I mean, if you look at the past, including this game, the 2 prior games against the Rays, I mean, we've given up at least 6 runs in all of those games just from a complete pitching staff performance. So yeah, it's not the dominant pitching. I know the bullpen numbers, probably got a little bit inflated today, but that was kind of their, bread and butter as far as, what their pitching was doing with the bullpen. And I think, yeah, it's weird, man. It almost seems like nobody's doing super well. Maybe some like South Stewart and Ellie have been doing pretty well, obviously, and Myers even too. But this team doesn't seem like it's been firing at all cylinders at any point in the year, and we're having one of the best starts we've had in recent years. So, hey, and that's honestly though, as like a fan, you would almost rather them be winning these games now because it's like, all right, well, once we get rolling, shoot, it'll be awesome. But I don't know. I mean, it's such a weird game. So I think I'll take it while I can get it, though, man. I mean, the win's a win, so I can't be too mad.
I mean, this team their offense is 27th in OPS in Major League Baseball. Their starting pitching is 23rd in ERA, and they are 17-9. It is nice, Austin, to be on the other side of this because how many times have we seen other teams doing crap like this? So we're like, how do they keep doing this? How do they keep getting away with this? I have to say, it is a lot more pleasant to be on the other side of this. And yeah, it's some of this stuff is going to come crashing down, but you hope that you can have some performances like you can add Nick Lodolo, you can add Hunter Green. You can hopefully have guys like Matt McClain and Nathaniel Lowe or whoever else kind of step up and provide some offensive lift. But wild stuff. All right, let's shift to the bullpen. The bullpen was really good outside of Tony Santillan. I don't want to just gloss over the fact that Kyle Nicholas, Pierce Johnson, Brock Burke, and Graham Ashcraft combined for 4 scoreless innings. In a game that the Reds won by 1 run because that was a pretty big piece of that. Kyle Nicholas, I don't know how. I guess he did let in Abbott's runs, so he wasn't really. I guess we'll throw Nicholas out. He was actually really bad. That was kind of earlier in the game when I was putting the kids to bed, so you'll have to forgive me. But Pierce Johnson was really good. Brock Burke just continues to look like what an awesome pickup from this team.
Shoved, yeah.
I mean, might end up being one of the sneakiest moves I don't know if I said it on this show yet or not, if I've just been, group chatting this, but it's going to be hilarious when we look back in 5 years and the Reds won the Gavin Lux trade to the Dodgers because they flipped Gavin Lux for Brock Burke. And Brock Burke has this incredible dominant run as a reliever. And also shout out to Graham Ashcraft, who threw a scoreless inning after the Reds had blown the lead and kind of really just, kind of lost all momentum in the game. But let's talk about Tony Santillan. I don't know. I kind of just chalk it up to one of those nights. I feel like he had been on a really, really good run of late. And it's just like you're going to have these nights at Great American Ballpark. That's just, I don't really have a whole lot of hot take. I mean, he's been absolutely dominant since early in the season. His first 2 starts, he walked 4 batters, but survived. And then really since then, he had been absolutely incredible. And only walked 2 batters in the entire month of April, covering about 9 innings.
Yeah, it's hard to expect a guy to be perfect every time, right? But yeah, I mean, this was a situation where you didn't really want him to have his blow-up game, especially like I talked about on the box score recap, all the kind of momentum swings, and you thought, all right, finally the Reds took the lead, just close out these last couple innings, and we'll be on the post-game show having a good time. But it was a bad time to have a bad time for him, unfortunately. But yeah, I think overall, I mean, it's hard to be probably too concerned of Santillan, just his body of work and his kind of short career that he's had. But yeah, you talked about, I mean, Nicholas kind of struggling, and even going back to his last closing effort the other night too, where, I mean, he was seemingly handing out walks like he was Oprah or something. But that's kind of the rough spot for me as far as, guys that at least are trending kind of poorly. But still, I mean, you mentioned all the other guys. I think it's hard to be too down on this bullpen as a whole. And that's really kind of like the thing that I looked at the beginning of the year. It's like, they're predicting the win totals for the Reds and stuff. It's like, well, I think the offense is probably better. I think the bullpen's probably better too. So this team should be doing, pretty well just by that kind of thought process. And I think, I don't know if we can always expect, guys like Pagan to be the shutdown closer that he's been in recent years. Some of that might, change over the course of a long season. But the good news is it's not at least what it was last year, where I felt like we were pretty much dependent on Pagan and Santillan as like your leverage guys every night to pitch. And then, they got, I think, both worn out, obviously, by the end of the year. But they've at least shown that they've got a few guys that you can kind of plug and play into some of those roles. You didn't even see Connor Phillips tonight. I think he's a guy with a lot of upside. But yeah, I think this bullpen is overall a pretty solid unit. Kind of health and, where guys come back is probably going to impact that as far as guys getting moved in and out. But at least with what they've got now, I mean, it's on the whole pretty serviceable.
I have to imagine there's probably a pretty good chance that Kyle Nicholas is on a flight to Iowa. That's where AAA Louisville's at right now. Not really a whole lot of options. Unfortunately, all the guys that are pitching well at AAA are not on the 40-man roster. Like Lyon Richardson has been incredible, but he's not on the 40-man roster. TJ Antone, he struggled a little bit of late, last like 2 times out, but he had been really good. I know people are just going to say DFA Kyle Nicholas, but I don't think the Reds are really like DFAing relievers that they like their stuff just in April.
Up. Yeah.
It's just I get like why people want that, but that's just not the way I think most major league teams operate. So I don't really know who they would go to. I mean, Maxwell and May have not been very good. They're both on the 40-man roster. My guess is maybe they just try to bring back up another starter like Jose Franco or Julian Aguilar just to kind of have another guy with some length. That would probably be kind of where I'd go. But back to Santillan, just I guess kind of rounded out. I still probably feel better about Santillan than Pagan at the moment, even with the bad night tonight.
Yeah, and Nicholas, you hope, I guess, we don't lose the Tyler Callahan trade to your trade-winning mention earlier, but very early to be calling that.
Tyler Callahan not exactly crushing it at AAA either, and it's not like Tyler Callahan had really any path to the big leagues either right now as well. Austin, any kind of other final thoughts on this game? We'll talk, I guess, a little bit more about Gino here in a second Any other final thoughts? Anything else that maybe stuck out from this game to you?
No, I mean, the guys that we touched on, I think we probably touched, enough of what they've been doing that it stinks to still see guys like Reese Hines kind of struggle, and obviously Brian Hayes with his offensive struggles. And before the Geno injury, I was kind of thinking maybe they shift him into more of a defensive third base role just to get him in the lineup and give Hayes maybe some off days more so than they had been. But that kind of complicates it with him being hurt because it kind of takes out, one of your options to also play third. I think honestly, Sal Stewart could probably do it pretty decently, serviceably, I guess if that's a word. But no, it'll be interesting to see because I think now it more so kind of solidifies more playing time for Hayes. And if they're bringing up JJ Bleday, that doesn't really help you in the infield, obviously. So I think, I don't know. You just hope that some of these guys at the bottom half of the lineup can at least do better than what they have been. But I think also seeing Dane Myers at least in the lineup tonight, TJ Friedel kind of having a rough go of it too. It's kind of almost a shift of kind of playing time there, I think too. So those are kind of the trends I see otherwise. But I think at least for this game, I think we probably covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think we can, I guess, safely say it at this point in time, TJ Friedel is a platoon player right now, which is kind of crazy that's happened. I did not see that happening. I thought maybe like the best case scenario if you wanted him platoon was like maybe they would do it like 50% of the time when Marte was on the roster. I did not see that, but yeah, I certainly agree with that. I think it's the right move. I think it only helped Friedel too. I think Friedel will hit right-handed pitching better. I think his numbers will look better. Probably his confidence will be better. And Dane Myers has been awesome, and I want him to get all the opportunities he possibly can against lefties and get them at the top of the lineup, because I think that really helps him. The only other thing I kind of talking about from the game, and it's not something I'm going to be super critical of just because the Reds used so many pitchers today, and I also don't know where Sam Moll's at. I don't know if Sam Moll is necessarily, great right now in terms of like his availability and his usage and stuff like that. But there was one spot in the game, the Reds had just come back. They took the lead. Santillan gave up a solo home run, gave up a single to Colt Keith. There was 2 outs, and the Tigers brought in Kerry Carpenter to pinch hit. If you don't know who Kerry Carpenter is, he's probably, I would say, the best platoon player in Major League Baseball. Like left-handed batter that doesn't play regularly against right-handed pitching. He's probably the best over the last couple of years. Was not in the lineup today. There's 2 outs. You still had the lead. If Moll was fresh, man, it felt like that would have been a perfect spot for Moll to try to get out of the inning. I doubt Kerry Carpenter hits a 2-run home run off Sam Moll. So I don't know. Again, you'd used a lot of pitchers. I understand like you can't burn every single pitcher in game 26 of the season, but it was a spot that you really would have liked to use a lefty.
Yeah, no, I agree. Interesting tidbit I see on our very own Chatterbox Sports X page. I guess in the post-game conference, Terry Francona mentioned the Tigers didn't want to keep playing necessarily after the rain delay. He said they had to push a little bit to resume the game. So interesting, I don't know, between the lines gamesmanship going on there, but glad they ultimately did resume it and glad we got the outcome that we did.
Well, it sucks to suck. That's how I would view that.
Yeah, you should have just said that.
Yeah, sorry, Detroit. I mean, I don't know. There's no way if you're on the other side that you would have wanted it that. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, this game didn't resume it at 2 a.m. It resumed at 10:50 p.m. on a Friday
like a less than
night.
2-hour rain delay. Yeah.
Like what are we doing? If you can't, like, I have sat through so many horrendous rain delays, and then they end up calling the game later. Like, they got the game back up started at 10:50. If you were complaining about that, that might be the softest thing I've ever heard, Austin. The Tigers are a soft franchise. That is pathetic. They even throw those quotes out there. That is soft. They are soft in Detroit. I thought Detroit was a tough city, Austin.
Well, they've fallen on hard times up there, but I've heard Detroit's coming back.
That is
I don't
soft.
think tonight.
Charmin. Soft. All right, you know what's not Charmin soft is Reds minor league baseball. and let's jump into that. Reds Minor League Baseball presented by 78 Cigars. Cincinnati legend Anthony Munoz has a new venture, and we are fired up to partner with it here on Chatterbox Reds. Introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars and Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 Cigars right now at both Montgomery and locations or over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head to anthonymunoz.com, click on the 78 Cigars page, and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz. All right, we'll start off with AAA Louisville. They won 5-4 in 11 innings over Iowa. Bats now 15-10. The Iowa Cubs, they straight punted this game when it got to the 10th. They brought in a position player, their catcher, to pitch in the 10th and the 11th inning. Louisville didn't necessarily thrive, but they found a way to get a win. J.J. Bleday, who we'll talk about here in a second, 0 for 1 with a walk. He was pulled in from the game in the 6th inning. I went back and watched the last play of the bottom of the 5th. He made a very routine catch, walked off the field completely out of the camera, completely normal, like everything was fine, and then he exited the game. So clearly felt like it was a situation where he's taken out of the game purposefully, and there was certainly didn't look like there was any injury or anything like that. We'll talk about that more in a second. Noelvi Marte continues to stay hot. He was 3 for 6 with a double, stole his third base. Edwin Arroyo 3 for 5. Blake Dunn 2 for 5. He stole his 4th bag of the year. Zach Maxwell gave up a run, did walk a batter, but struck out 2. And Andrew Chafin also continues to pitch very well down there. He throws a scoreless inning. All right, let's shift to AA Chattanooga. Chattanooga falls 11-9. Their 7-game win streak is snapped. They're now 15-4 on the season. This was a crazy game. Both teams walked 9 times in the game. Cam Collier stayed hot. He was 2 for 5 with a double. Collier's hitting .370, has 7 extra base hits in his last 7 games. Leo Balcazar 1 for 5 with a walk. Austin Hendrick on base twice, 1 for 4 with a walk. Jay Allen also 1 for 4 with a walk. And good to see Easton Sikorsky, one of the Reds pitchers out of the bullpen that had one of the best years last year. He made his 2026 debut. I'm not sure what's been going on with him. He's been in and out of the development list. Not sure if he's been working on something or whatnot. But he threw 2 scoreless innings, struck out 3 batters in his debut. All right, down to High A Dayton. The Dragons, they won 6-4 over Fort Wayne. The game was shortened by rain, only went 7 innings. Dragons back to 500 at 9-9 on the season. Jose Trevino reached base in all 3 of his plate appearances during his first rehab game. Trevino said after the game, he feels good, and I'd like to be up in Cincinnati tomorrow. So we will see about that. Alfredo Duno 1 for 4. Carlos Sanchez 0 for 3 with a walk. Kine Vu at his first home run with the Dayton Dragons. He was 2 for 3 with the homer and a walk. Tough day for Cole Schoenwetter. He goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. And last but not least, the Daytona Tortugas. They ended their 6-game losing streak with a 3-2 win over St. Lucie. Tortugas now 6-13 on the year. Tyson Lewis on base twice, 1 for 3 with a double and a walk. Big day from Arnaldo Lantigua. He was on base 4 times, 2 for 4. He was on base twice, 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Both doubles hit over 100 miles per hour. Mason Neville hit his first home run of the season. It was a 394-foot home run, 108 off the bat. And Ovis Portes continues to pitch very well. This was the return for Lucas Sims. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Portes got 15 whiffs on 37 swings. Fastball hit 96.7. Portes now has 30 strikeouts in 14 innings with a 3.50 ERA. So, as mentioned, it seems pretty obvious, unless I'm completely missing something, that J.J. Bleday will be replacing Eugenio Suarez on the roster. And there's probably some people who are like, why would they replace an outfielder? Well, Suarez has been DHing, so you're just getting the best bat, I think, up here is how I would view it.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely a guy that deserves it, right? I mean, he's been absolutely crushing it. Blade has down in AAA. I just pulled up his numbers. He's batting 341 down there. And I think he had like a streak I remember hearing where he had reached base in like 20 something consecutive games. It was ridiculous. So he's just been straight up mashing down there. And yeah, I mean, as far as guy that deserves it, I think that's definitely a guy that you'd look to see come up. And then I didn't really think about the Trevino, coming back from the IL kind of at the same time. So it's interesting that you could theoretically see them doing like the swap of Trevino for Suarez, but I guess you're not going to have three catchers on the roster either. But so I think Blade could be kind of the offensive spark that they can also use. Just in addition to all the guys that we mentioned earlier in the show. AAA numbers obviously sometimes not as transferable to the majors with guys with better stuff and whatnot, but I'm interested to see it. Blade, much like Nathaniel Lowe and much like Dane Myers, was kind of one of those offseason additions that we said it's roll the dice. This could actually be a pretty good pickup for the Reds. So this is the time to prove it, and no better time, I guess, when we lose one of our other offensive weapons.
Interesting to see, I guess, assuming this is the move, how the playing time shakes out. You would think that Nate Lowe is going to get the primary of the DH at-bats, especially after tonight. I mean, it'd be certainly hard. J.J. Bleday does have... Last year he had reverse splits, but his career doesn't necessarily follow the same trajectory. I think he's a little more serviceable against lefties, so... but you're going to have a very left-handed dominant lineup. TJ Friedel actually probably finds his way back out of a platoon role with Suarez gone, I would think.
True.
But yeah, I mean, like Rhys Hines is that, like if you're having Hines, Benson, and Blade all on a roster, it's hard to see like Hines continuing to play every day against right-handed pitching, because I don't think Steer's going to get more than maybe a day off a week. So yeah, it'll be interesting kind of how they would mix and match this.
Yeah, you hope it's not a scenario where Blade gets called up and, gets cold on the bench for, multiple days at a time and kind of messes up his whole rhythm. And then you got guys like you mentioned in your rundown there on the minor leagues. Marte's down there mashing too. It's probably only a matter of time till he's eventually up for somebody. And I guess with his kind of hybrid, defensive ability, it's almost an infielder and an outfielder with him too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing with it. But yeah, it's hard for me to see really Myers losing time or a lot of the guys that they've been running out there. Rhys Hines, I think they're still going to give a pretty long runway. I know a lot of people have talked about that just to try to figure it out, but it just stinks because he's kind of struggled since he's come up. But I don't know. I think he's definitely capable of more than he's shown.
Yeah, we will see how it shakes out. We got a whole bunch of more super chats here. Thank you so much to everyone who is watching. We got a $100 super chat from Cincy Sports. Nothing on there, just $100 super chat. Thank you, Cincy Sports. That is incredibly generous. We really appreciate it. If you have something that you'd like to say, let us know. If you're just
you deserve it.
Say you appreciate it. We very much appreciate you. Michael Rolfe, $10 super chat. This stream had 87 people in here with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. A slap by Steer and a smash by Lowe. And boom, 453 people watching now. Like the stream because likes equals Reds win. Simple math. It is simple. All right, Ryan Carroll, $5 super chat. This is a really interesting question here. Do you think Abbott is having trouble adapting to the ABS strike zone? He's not getting chase on his fastball up in the zone like he was last year. This is an interesting observation. I wish I had like a better, more in-depth answer that I could give you on the fly, but I think it's certainly possible that is a contributing factor to this. I wouldn't like say that's probably not likely that's like the only factor here, but certainly an interesting thought.
Yeah, I'd have to look. I mean, to your point, I don't know, I guess the number of kind of overturns he's had and things like that, but it seems like honestly guys are just getting really good contact off of him. I mean, tonight, like a couple home runs and, just solid contacts. Maybe somewhat of a factor, but I just think he's getting hit. But
Yeah.
Could be.
All right, Big Red Machine, $5 super chat. Suddenly getting 2023 vibes. Sketchy pitching with explosive offense. What about Burke as a starter after Lodolo comes back? Abbott to the bullpen. That's bull. I don't. It'd be hard to transfer a guy to a starter. You know, I think he did a while back, but I think he's been a reliever for quite a while. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
It feels like you're trying to do too much. Like, he's been great in his role. Maybe try to get him to have like 2 inning outings. Like, that might be where I would push it, but I don't think as a starter I'd be pushing for that.
Yeah, and I guess going off what I just said about Abbott too, it's like that doesn't necessarily solve anything. Putting a guy that's getting hit pretty solidly into the bullpen for a guy that was actually pretty effective. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think Abbott's either in the rotation or in AAA. I mean, I think it's really that simple, and I'm not calling for him to go to AAA. So, Ryan Carroll, $5 super chat. I love this team. They are winning games that they couldn't win last year. I'm really excited to see what the rest of the season has in store. Yeah, I mean, just some of these wins and their overall record is truly unbelievable. And we're just going to continue to enjoy it and ride it out and piss off other teams along the way. That's what we're doing right now. Ned Flanders, $5 super chat. Our another near wire-to-wire division championship. Well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but I like it.
Lou Piniella in the house.
I don't know what's going on here, Austin. Cincy Sports, another $100 super chat.
It's like the Trace Burner account.
I mean, paying himself, I guess, and giving YouTube commissions. So that's a heck of a way to do it. He says, Nick, free ticket for the Diamond Club on May 14th. You in? Brother, I live in Cleveland. That's a Thursday night. That would be tough. I got kids still in school. But offer that to Trace. I bet he would go. I would love to come down for that. I certainly would go with you if I could. But probably be a challenge for me in the middle of the week to head down there on a Thursday. But that's an unbelievable offer. Thank you for tuning into the show. You never know what you're going to get here on Chatterbox Reds, Austin.
$100 apparently.
Apparently. All right. Who, what, when, where, and why? We got another baseball game coming up. Reds are on national TV Fox. I believe at 5:30 they're starting the Hall of Fame ceremony. Reggie Sanders, Brandon Phillips, Lou Piniella, and who's the other one?
Aaron Harang.
How could I forget the orangutan? I think that starts at 5:30. I believe that will be broadcast on Fox 19. Reds going with Brady Singer going up against Jack Flaherty. Just another solid Tigers starting pitcher, really good. Singer's kind of been up and down. But Austin, what are you kind of looking for tomorrow with Brady Singer? It feels like he's due for a really good start, right?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think we talked about kind of the starting pitching struggles, and he's kind of one of the guys that I feel like has struggled, and really kind of one of the guys that you look to almost even the ship, so to speak, just with what his role has been with this team. So I think you're spot on there. It's not necessarily an easy matchup for the Reds offense either. So it'll be hopefully another game where they can maybe, do a little bit of damage early, but then, rock the bullpen of the Tigers if they can late as well. But no, and honestly, looking forward to the pregame festivities tomorrow. I think that's going to be really cool. Funny part of today's game, Brandon Phillips joked that he was going to get one at bat with his 1-day contract and see what he could do. Not going to happen, but that would be honestly hilarious. But I think they can hopefully get a good, crowd in the house for those events and maybe carry some momentum with their all red unis. But we'll see how it goes.
Brady Singer has seen the Tigers a lot. Their hitters 92 at bats against Brady Singer, so they are very familiar. 272 average, 731 OPS, the entire Tigers offense. Kerry Carpenter, though, is just 1 for 10 against Singer. Javier Baez 6 for 19. Riley Green 3 for 14. So they're two like big left-handed bats. He's somehow had a lot of success against. The rest of them not as much. Torkelson is 3 for 15 with a homer. Gleyber Torres 5 for 14. Matt Verling is 3 for 5 with a homer. Reds have had a lot of success, Austin, against Jack Flaherty. I don't have the full numbers in front of me. Here we go. 4.53 ERA in his career against the Reds. But I think of late, last year, 1 start, 4 2/3 innings, 7 runs Reds put up on him. Ellie has a home run against him. Spencer Steer has a home run against him. Tyler Stevenson has a home run against him. Eugenio Suarez had 4 home runs against him, but that's probably not going to play. And how about this? Brian Hayes is 6 for 14 with a double off of Jack Flaherty. So, hopefully the Reds can keep it rolling here. And
it's going to be a get-right day, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. All right, any final thoughts, Austin?
No, I think we covered it, but just really good to see these guys battle, and it just gives you a lot of hope, I guess, for better things, for the rest of the season too, just with the way that they've been able to stay in games and, put themselves in positions where they can squeak out wins when you might not think that they can. So, and I think in the long season of baseball, if you can build kind of momentum and get you through kind of the daily grind of baseball in the long year, I think it just goes a long way, and it's good to see him doing this.
All right, we got another $100 super chat from Cincy Sport. Like, Austin, I don't know if it's like it doesn't sound like it's probably a good business decision for me to end the stream at this point. If we're gonna keep
let's keep it going.
$100 super chat says Trace can go, but they don't have Fireball there. I don't know what's going on, but appreciate the support. And
it's oddly specific to know that they don't have Fireball too, but I'll take it.
You never know what you're going to get here on Chatterbox Reds. Really do appreciate everyone that tuned in. As always, do appreciate that. We got a lot of really good content up on Chatterbox Sports. There's 2 brand new videos that were posted tonight about the Bengals' 2nd and 3rd round draft picks. Craig Sandlin headlined both of those. Stone Shields joined him on one. Andrew Collinsworth on another. So check those out. Appreciate that support. Those are also available in the Chatterbox Bengals podcast feed. If you're listening on the podcast feed, links to all that is in the episode notes below. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight. I don't know who's on tomorrow. I think Craig's on tomorrow with someone. They'll be back better than ever tomorrow. Me and Trace will be back on Sunday night. Austin, appreciate you coming on. Always enjoy talking some Reds baseball with you. We'll have you on throughout the rest of the summer.
Thanks for having me on. Go Reds, baby.
All right, see if I can remember how to do the outro. All right, take care, everyone. Go Reds.